Welcome back to Bearcats Daily. As always, I am your host, Blake Thornton. Hope everyone had themselves a great weekend. Got to watch a little World Cup soccer. Saw the U.S. dominate on Friday night. So just hope that everyone really got to enjoy themselves this weekend. UC football was really enjoying themselves with the past week that they've had in terms of commitments. 8 total so far. We're going to go over 3 of the new ones today that committed over the weekend. They have some salesmen in that locker room. I tell you what, obviously the character of the campus and everything blends in. There's no doubt about it. It sells itself. The city sells itself. I love Cincinnati for that reason. The look, the vibe, the aesthetic, everything about it sells. All we have to do is sell these guys on the program. So it's good to see guys coming into town. And our first one that we had committed over this weekend was a dual threat. Travis Miller. He plays defensive back and wide receiver. He's currently the 8th commitment of the week. Plays safety, outside linebacker, and wide receiver. Now, he stands about 6'4", 220. Big dude. Very athletic, obviously, if he's playing multiple positions. Coming out of Georgia, where, once again, UC just seems to recruit so well out of Georgia. It's an interesting dynamic on how well we do pulling guys from there. So very excited to have him come in. The 6th defensive commit that the Bearcats have gotten. One thing with him is with his size and that speed, since he's only about 220 pounds for his size, he can really move. He is a violent tackler. He comes downhill, wraps up with very strong hands, and takes guys to the ground. He will be playing mostly defense as of now. That's the idea anyway. Obviously, things change, position-wise. But probably looking at him filling in at the linebacker position. With his size and speed and ability to tackle, I'd really like to see him coming off the edge as an outside linebacker. Or if you're going to put him in the middle, inside linebacker, he can really fill gaps coming downhill and make that tackle at the line of scrimmage. Very, very good pickup for UC. Looking forward to seeing him play moving forward. We did have another defensive commit that signed, announced his commitment to UC. Obviously, these guys aren't, National Signing Day is not yet. They can decommit, do all that stuff. But defensive lineman Matthew Beckridge came into town and signed after his official visit. 6'4", 242 pounds, a Canada boy out of Ontario, Canada. They pulled him from. He came down and visited UC and wound up committing. He did have a meeting with Miami of Ohio as well. Again, another D lineman that even though he's a bigger guy, he's got great speed coming off the edge, especially in terms of his size. Obviously, these bigger guys, 6'4", 240, more of an edge guy. But remember, with that 3-4 defense UC runs, our edge guys are playing over the tackles. So we can go a little bigger on size, which it looks like UC's trying to do if you look at the size of the recruits that they've been bringing in. They really want to get the comparable size that you see in the Big 12 because this is something that I don't think a lot of people pay enough attention to. And I'm going to go back to when UC played Alabama for this instance. When we played that game, while UC played them very well, they stayed in it, they stayed hard on them through the entire game. The size difference between a Power 4 school, blue blood like Alabama, and at the time, an American Athletic Conference team like UC, you really see the size come into play in the disparity of the strength. So UC's really, over the last couple years, been hammering hard on getting bigger, stronger guys that can still maintain that speed, basically wanting to bring that physicality to their team. That is pretty common in the Big 12 and these upper schools, which they will need for the college football playoffs. So a great pickup here. He is he was the second D lineman at the time that did sign. So obviously UC going very defensive heavy. Obviously Nate Woody being the defensive coordinator is going to draw a lot of guys to the team. So that's a big pickup and a big signing, not only the coaches, but recruits as well. And then we have one more D lineman coming into town to join him so far. DeCaleb Green. He is a 3-star recruit coming out of Louisiana. Another Bayou Bengal coming to town. 6'4", 195-pound D lineman. 24/7 Sports had him ranked as the 104th edge rusher in the country and the 45th ranked player overall in the state of Louisiana. He did have offers from Tulsa, Wake Forest, and a couple other schools. Decided to commit to UC after his visit here. Again, I love seeing the fact that we're getting defensive guys into the team, that are going to bring a new brand of football. Obviously, being an offensive line and defensive line coach myself, I love the bigger guys, but I want to see them be able to move. It's not all about, the days of, we'll go back to Sam Adams and John Thornton for the Bengals, for those of you who watch who are also Bengals fans. This is going way back. Sam Adams, big boy. Same way with John Thornton. There were times when the D linemen were just supposed to fill the gaps. They were just supposed to be stalwarts at that line and get guys through. But that's really changed over the years. You want size and speed. Look at Myles Garrett. A dude that big should not be able to move like he does. But that's why he's one of the best to do it. So UC is really focusing on getting guys in the building with this size and speed. And I love the fact, 6'4", 195 pounds. He's going to put on a little bit of weight. And a good weight. He'll be lifting, working with the strength and conditioning coaches, and really getting a better build on his body for Big 12 football. Remember, these are still kids in a way. They're going into their senior years of high school. Most people aren't coming into their prime at that point. So you might say, well, he's undersized at 195 pounds. You're right. That is a bit thin for a defensive lineman, especially in the Big 12. But he's still got a year. He's going to play his 26th season, his senior season for high school. He's a class of 2027 commit. He's got pretty much 2 years of just strength, conditioning, and building his body to be prepared to play at this level of football. So there's plenty of time for that for all of the recruits coming in for the class of 2027. They will build their bodies and get them ready for Big 12 football. It's a great signing. We're having a lot of success right now. It's been a great week for UC football in terms of recruiting, getting guys to hard commit to the team, and going forward, it's going to build momentum. We're on that roll. Less than, I think, 90 days now before we get to the season, possibly in the 80s. What more can you ask for? We're really cooking, going downhill. But the Big 12 did put out the scheduling for the conference opponents of the basketball season, for the men's basketball season. And I got to say, not only is there all this hype around Coach Calhoun coming to town, rebuilding this squad, and getting guys in the building that he has. They have gotten some great transfers, a mix of young talent with a veteran mindset players as well. I love how this team is developing. But now we also know the schedule that we can face in the Big 12, and it just adds even more opportunity, which is all we can guarantee these guys. Hey, you're going to get an opportunity to make a splash, and I think they have it right now. So, starting with the home and away, so we will play these teams twice, once at home, once at their home. Kansas State, Texas Tech, West Virginia are the 3 teams that UC will play for men's basketball on a home-and-home basis. I love that matchup. I think that we can win at all 3 places. West Virginia is a tough place to play. I remember this from the Big East days. UC did not fare too well at West Virginia. Different time, but it's a very tough place to play. So that game will be circled as one of the road games where it's like, we're going to have a challenge going into this game. But who knows? They could be scheduled near the end of the season for the away game, and we'll have a better idea of our team by that point. So time will tell. Now, here's where it gets interesting for UC. The home, just at home, here are their opponents. Arizona, Arizona State, UCF, Houston, Kansas, TCU. I love the fact that we are bringing blue blood basketball programs into Fifth Third Arena to play them with this new regime. Arizona, Houston, and Kansas. I mean, arguably 3 of the most consistent teams in the last, we'll say since COVID. We'll say for this decade, 3 of the most consistent winning teams in college basketball. And we get to have them for just 1 game. And even better, that game is here in Cincinnati. That is a huge opportunity for UC to pull off some major quad 1 wins against top caliber opponent that we will face when we play in the NCAA tournament and also in the Big 12 tournament. We will see these teams again, but as a new coach who had to rebuild an entire roster in quite a short amount of time, I'll give him credit. He did it quickly. You're getting to face the cream of the crop for college basketball teams in your home arena. I expect it to be an amazing atmosphere. It'll be sold out for those games. I have no doubt about it. And we have a chance to knock off Arizona, Houston, and Kansas. We went to Kansas last season and handed the worst home loss in the Bill Self era at Kansas, with arguably one of the lackluster UC basketball teams. I don't think the Miller era will ever go down as anything but a failure. Nothing against those guys. Obviously, Baba Miller going into the NBA draft. There were good players on that team. I just think Miller was the problem there. I really do. But with this new coach, a new program, this schedule is shaping up well. Now, we do have just road opponents that we will only play once. Baylor, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Utah. I guess the ones you can really circle there, BYU, pretty consistent on the basketball, on the hard floor. Solid team. Baylor as well, usually two teams always in the mix. Iowa State, right around there. I don't really expect to struggle too much with Colorado, Oklahoma State, or Utah. They're going to be, obviously, road games of the Big 12, and road games in college are tough to begin with. College atmospheres are some of the best atmospheres you can ever ask for in sports, 100%. Now, as a season ticket holder for NFL, I can promise you, I love games in Cincinnati and that atmosphere. But college, especially college basketball, when those arenas are usually right over the court, it's loud, it's intense, it is a rush of adrenaline for sure. But I really like how this is setting up for the men's team, the men's program. I think Coach Calhoun's got a good schedule. He's got a lot of good guys already coming in the building. They're signing major recruits for the class of 2027. So we're going to get a season where it's not really a rebuilding season in my book. And I don't think you should look at it as a rebuild either. We're getting already established guys that Calhoun went out and recruited. He brought the young talent from Utah State with him. He brought 3 guys, remember that. They are going to make an impact right away. We don't have to necessarily worry about that. And even better, they're familiar with his program already having played for him. Very, very excited. We have so much opportunity with this schedule. It's very friendly to UC. And honestly, it's just going to be put it in their hands and let them do what they're going to do. If the team struggles their first year out, okay, chalk it up. It is what it is. But with the scheduling, the matchups, where we're going to play, who we're going to play when, obviously we don't have the scheduled dates yet. That will come out eventually. I'm hoping we see Arizona, Houston, and Kansas the back half of the season because I want to finish strong. I want to give these guys time and build them through the non-conference, crush Xavier in the crosstown shootout because Xavier is not a Cincinnati school. It's its own entity. Whatever. We don't like them. Win the crosstown shootout and cruise on it. I want to be undefeated going into conference play for UC. That is the goal in my mind for this team. We get there, it's going to be a good season. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to go over a couple more recruits, looking at the offensive scheme for UC moving into this year with a new quarterback, and hopefully get some fan questions as well. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate y'all joining me today. Until next time, y'all have a good one.